Welcome to Jibba Jabba, the vocal part of the networking magazine. In today's episode, we have the pleasure of interviewing Fabio Iacobini, a talented blogger and journalist who's made a successful career out of writing. With years of experience in the industry, Fabio has honed his skills in crafting, engaging, and producing informative content. Today, I delve into his journey as a blogger, giving insights into the world of journalism and tips for aspiring writers. So without further ado, let's jump right into the interview. Hello, Fabio. Thank you for joining me today.
Hello there. Thank you for this fantastic opportunity. I hope you enjoy my conversation with all of you. Okay.
Of course. Right. Well, let's jump straight in there. So, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your background as a blogger and journalist?
So basically, I think started more or less in the middle of 2016 after I met a fantastic woman from Italy, in Chelsea, and then we had first broke up, and then I started to write poem, letter, and so. And my friend said to me, "Why you don't put in a blog or something and you start to share with all of the people?" And as a journalist, during COVID time, I did the school, London School of Journalism in Maida Vale, Shirland Road, who is one of the most important school of journalism writing, more than 120 years, because it started in 1920, something like that. And I mean, it was like a gym for so many people, successful as well. Yeah.
So you really, it was COVID that facilitated your move into journalism and made you sort of take up journalism in a more serious way. Okay. I know you have another background. Talk to me a little bit about that. I know that you have a background in hospitality. I mean, how many years was that?
Yeah, more or less now I celebrate 15 years in the luxury business in between Switzerland, Italy, London, and but I'm keep moving a little bit more in the writing, broadcasting environment, because it's my passion and what I love to do. I like to have a little bit of feedback with the society, what's going on, if I'm doing good or bad, but writing is my first love. Yeah.
All right. So, journalism is what you qualified in, and you got started because of this little bit of a love story, and you started to write about a broken relationship and that sort of thing. What's the name of your blog? How can people find it?
It's called letsdiscoveryourself.com. Is www.lets-discover-yourself.com, and it's been a blog since 2019. Now I celebrate 5 years, and 2 weeks ago I celebrated 5,000 views on the blog, which is an amazing milestone in my opinion. Yeah. And I'm doing very well because I'm updating the blog more or less every day. I have to read almost 1 or 2 books per week if I can, and so I need to be updated all the time about the news, what's going on in the world, and it's very challenging and exciting.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit. Your work with the blog. What sort of topics do you cover? Is there a particular area? Is it politics? Is it war? Is it what are the sort of specific topics?
Yeah, basically I work a lot with the mindset, create the mindset of the people, which is, in my opinion, the first engine which produce the energy, the way to live, and the successful way as well. So mindset, psychology, philosophy, sport, about the champion of football, swimming, and so. So I'm focused in that part of section, mindset and the way to approach the life. Yeah. This is more or less but I mean, I have so many articles, poem, poetry. Yeah,
I think I had a look. Is it 600 articles? Is that right? Is that what you've written?
Yeah, I mean, in the blog, I think there are 200, but I have 300 and something achieved, and sometimes I edit and put it in the blog. So I have because came from before the launch of the blog. So I'm talking in between 2016 and 2019, because in 2019 October I published the blog for the first time, and so I have a lot of stuff from.
You must have done a lot of research. I mean, you must have done a lot of research. So
no. I mean, they said is I work basically 18 hours per day. So basically, most of the time I dedicated for my work in a hotel, and the rest reading, research, podcast, YouTube, so and so. So this is what I do. Yeah.
And what about sorry to interrupt. Sorry.
Yeah.
Tell me.
No, at least 2 books per week. At least.
Okay. Yeah. All right. And I was going to ask you, because I know there's a little bit of a time delay with Zoom, but I was going to ask you about staying up to date with the latest news and trends. I mean, where do you source your information from? Is that particularly is it the internet? Is it television, other media? Where do you sort of get your ideas from?
Yeah, well, in the beginning, I started to, of course, invest my money and my time in video broadcasting. I mean, a newspaper like New York Times, Wall Street Journal. But I realized that something is weird, and so websites are very reliable. I think Al Jazeera, there is this kind of journalist is called Sandra Gatman, who is fantastic. Cover a blog it's called Start Here, and it's fantastic. Clarissa Ward from CNN from London. I think you know her, is amazing. And also a couple of friends as well from Vanity Fair and Guardian, who I cover a little bit.
Quite the network. Yeah, you've got a network of sources of information. Yeah. What about the challenges? I mean, Fabio, it's not easy to write blog posts, and it's, quite frankly, it's quite challenging sometimes, to sit down and write. So first of all, let me ask you, are you a traditional guy? You love paper and a pen? Or are you a modernist? You love writing on a keypad?
Well, in the beginning, it was, pen and books, because I used to go to the Victoria Albert Museum in South Kensington, and sometimes I watch some pictures, some painting. I started to write down poems. And now, since I bought the new laptop, I just use the, WordPress and...
right. From one journalist to another, do you prefer paper and pen? Is it more inspirational, or do you find the keypad, the keyboard works just as well?
Yeah, well, book and pen is more like romantic. It's a romantic wave of journalism, but I prefer, honestly, more the laptop. Yeah.
Did you have any challenges? I mean, you've been doing this since COVID. I mean, as a journalist, have you had many challenges thrown at you? You said you work 18 hours a day. I guess that must have been, or is, one of the biggest hurdles. But have there been challenges along the way?
Well, I think, there is a famous quote by JFK, and said, if you take the Chinese word like danger, you can swap the same letter, so it became opportunity. So in any part of your life, when there is a kind of challenging stuff like difficulty, if you turn over, it's going to be opportunity. So to me, it's a key word for my life and for my work.
Okay. Yeah. And in today's digital age where, anyone can start a blog, what advice have you got for aspiring bloggers who want to stand out and make an impact?
I think the first engine is curiosity. Mm-hmm. You need to take control of your life and decide what you want to be. It can be a passion, can be a free time, can be whatever it is. But I think if you believe it, if you tell the truth, if you are reliable, the people start to follow you day by day, and you're gonna be successful, because the business is very, how do you say, it's very busy. Yeah. And but I know a few people start from nowhere without connection, and they achieve whatever they want. Yeah.
Fantastic. Good advice. How do you balance your own writing style and voice with the need to appeal to a wider audience? I mean, do you have a particular style of writing? Is it aggressive? Is it passionate? How would you describe your work?
That depends of the article, the poem. More or less, I'm more like sweet, soft, kind. I like to have a kind of soft way to live, peace and love, basically. But for example, if I have to talk about society, sometimes I'm a bit rough and fierce because I like justice, I love meritocracy, and if you wanna heal society, people need to move up if you deserve, and people need to move down if they do mistake. That's what I believe.
Okay, all right. And what about how do you approach sort of fast checking, ensuring the accuracy of your content? I mean, do you have a measure? Do you check the accuracy as a journalist? What do you do to sort of take steps to maintain credibility to your audience?
So basically, I have a lot of sources, like I said, Al Jazeera, CNN.
Yes, you mentioned.
Like Joe Rogan podcast, for example, Spotify are amazing, and I think it's an amazing tools, and there's total freedom. You can speak, even you can do by yourself. You can, yes, and so of course you confront a lot of news, and you see what is fake, what is real. For example, last week I had like a fight with the Italian network. Was talking about Trump and make a fake news because cut just a few seconds, but there was 10 minutes explaining the fact. I don't want to say, but it's like this. Yes, unfortunately, yeah.
Okay, and what about the most memorable moments? 600 articles, that's a lot. Are there any memorable moments in your experience as a writer or as a blogger or as a journalist? What sort of stories can you tell me about the most memorable experiences that you've had?
My memorable experience, once I started the blog in 2019, I was working here in London and South Kensington. I don't want to say the place, but I met this amazing journalist who works for The Guardian. He's one of the top journalists of the... I said to me, don't give up because you're doing fantastic. I mean, I'm sure that one day you're going to be successful. That's what they tell me. And also, I had an experience in... remotely with a Vanity Fair journalist who is very, very famous, and I did some research for him because he was looking for some news from Italy. Look for me in LinkedIn, and I had this fantastic time with him, and we worked together for a couple of months. Yes.
Wonderful. Yeah. Okay. And so moving on, let's talk a little bit how you deal with writer's block. It happens to me a lot. I sit there with a pen and paper. I'm a bit of a traditionalist. And I sometimes waste an hour or two just looking at a blank piece of paper. Does it happen to you? As a journalist, do you sit there and think, I just can't get the motivation? I mean, is it a real thing, a condition?
Yes, happened, I think 3 years ago. So I didn't write for like 6-7 months because I was stuck in Italy. There was COVID, a lot of problems, and I couldn't be focused about my passion and my work. So for 6-7 months, I couldn't write at all. And so I said to my family, I need to move back to London or abroad because here it make me the life so difficult there in Sardinia and Italy. So I decided to move back abroad, and once you are abroad, for example in London, library, bookshop, so it's very easy to take back the passion because you start to read, you start to see, and so it came very quickly. In the morning, once you get up, after half an hour, you have something in your head ready to put down.
Yeah, nice. That's a really nice thing. Okay, and I mean, future goals, aspirations, do you have any? What are you a guy who's a planner? Do you have any aspirations, or are you just playing every day as it comes?
No. Of course, you have to put some goals, something to achieve, because otherwise you don't get anything. So it's day by day work. Sometimes it's happy, sometimes it's sad moment. But if you keep studying, if you're doing research, if you start to get connection, like I said, from nowhere. So people look for me LinkedIn, which I recommend very, very well because it's a huge connection of people. And also just with the blog, Twitter. I don't have Instagram anymore. I don't have a Facebook, but I use a lot WordPress.
That's interesting. That's interesting. So you really, LinkedIn is a good way to connect with you. So maybe I'll put your LinkedIn details in the podcast description box for anyone that wants to get in touch with you professionally.
Of course.
Yeah, brilliant. And I've got to tell you, I mean, you and I networking, we were both at a networking event in London, and that's how we met. So, I suppose networking is a really important thing if you are a journalist or if you are a writer. Would you agree with that networking is sort of part and parcel of what you do to meet people?
Like I said to our friends, we were talking on the phone. I said, you're doing an amazing job with a connection in London, because that's where Donald Trump started. Because started from nowhere, from the Queens, Brooklyn. I started to do some business in Manhattan. I said, I need to have some connection. I started with a very famous strip club. It's called Le Club Studio 54 in Manhattan, and called the guy. I said, I need to meet the manager because I need to speak with him. And after that started a successful business in the real estate. So always important connection everywhere in the world. That's impressive, yeah.
Wonderful, and those are very wise words. Well, listen, unfortunately, we are out of time. Thank you, Fabio, for that wonderful insight into the world of blogging and journalism.
So don't forget, let's discover yourself, not just by the blog, but a way to live.
Absolutely, well said. If you would like to follow his story, I've placed a link to his blog in this podcast description box. And there'll also be a LinkedIn link as well if you'd like to get in touch with Fabio professionally. Well, that wraps up our interview for today. I hope that you've enjoyed this podcast. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next episode.